Like, you have 2 more days to go to every other team that's competitive and say, this is what we have. Can
Yep.
you do better?
Hey everyone, welcome to Tough Loss Bro, a podcast. Out of the gate, there was a fierce debate that we wanted to talk about. We had a couple of comments on our TikTok. Wanda the World on TikTok said, one of my favorite rules ever, flips the scripts, exhilaration to agony or agony to exhilaration. That's sports and I love it. And then Joe Simon kind of had an opposite take, also from TikTok. He added, if the offense fumbles the ball and the defense recovers, who gets the ball? The defense. The end zone belongs to the defense. You get points by scoring in the defense's end zone. When you fumble out of their end zone, they get the ball. The end zone is neutral, is not neutral ground, like the rest of the field. Hope this helps. Okay, Steve. First, are you annoyed about any of that? Secondly, did Joe's comment help you at all? And lastly, are there other worse rules in sports? Something you want to add to that worst rule in sports thing?
I'm not annoyed by it because, like, everybody's got their right to their opinion. We had 300 comments through TikTok and IG off of this. And so it was a passionate subject. Nothing changed my mind. I would say that if you fumble the ball out of bounds at the 2-yard line, you keep the ball. If you fumble the ball out of the end zone, you lose the ball. That doesn't make any sense to me. There's like, why is there a difference in that? Like, it just does not make sense. And so I stand by an opinion. I'll die on that hill. It's the stupidest fucking rule in football. It just is what it is. And so, like, they're not going to change it. I get that, but like, you don't deserve to lose possession because you went extra to go like this and put the ball out there. And so, like, if it was like 6 inches closer, then it would be like, oh, you keep the ball. So
Yeah.
a lot of people were asking about what would you do. My opinion would be you get a 15-yard penalty and or a loss of down. And so, like, there is a penalty. I agree that if you fumble going into the end zone, you have a penalty. It's just not loss of possession. That's
Okay.
my take.
Gotcha. So you just don't like the loss of possession. I think, Jeff, we covered your take last week about it. I don't know if there's any rule you wanted to mention real quick, because I wanted to talk about Tarik Skubal going to the Dodgers, but is there something you wanted to dive into real quick to join this discussion with the rules?
No, I mean, I said my take on that rule, and majority of those 300 comments that Steve mentioned agreed with me. They kind of all went in on him about how that's just the right rule. It makes sense. So clearly he's not swayed by it, and that's good. You shouldn't be swayed by the masses, but I mean, still wrong. And then, yeah, as for worse rules, we could also go into the pass interference rule in the NFL,
Sure.
where it's a spot foul if you touch the guy, like if you get in interfere with the pass. And that one's a little more excessive, I think, because you're allowing the offense to kind of take advantage of the rule in that sense, where guys like Patrick Mahomes are so good at this, where they just underthrow the ball and the receiver seems like he's going back for it to catch it. And then all of a sudden there's a defender in the way because he's there. He's also there. He has a right to that same ball, but that's pass interference now because he impeded on the underthrown ball that was, thrown there by Patrick Mahomes on purpose. In my opinion, like they seem to really take advantage of that. So I don't know what Steve agrees on that too, but I'll let him take the floor.
I mean, I don't know what the solution is, to be honest. I mean, I agree it shouldn't be a spot foul because you have quarterbacks who, like Aaron Rodgers, Patrick Mahomes, whoever else, like, they do it on purpose, like underthrowing the ball, just assuming it's either not going to be a catch or like the DB is going to wrap his fucking arm around the receiver. And then, so you now have like a 50-yard penalty. 50-yard penalties are ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I just don't get it. But I also, I don't know what the solution is, because college has that 15-yard rule, but it's like every time you're beat, you're just gonna like hang on to the guy, and it's only a 15-yard penalty. Like that doesn't make sense either. Like I just don't know what the solution is. It's a challenging situation. I don't know what the answer is.
I don't know. I think that's why we're sitting here doing a podcast and not up in the rules booth, actually, or in the rules committee, because we don't know the answers, and I think that's okay. I agree, though. I think that 15-yard penalty could be for the pass interference could be something that changes, just because the 50-yard penalty is kind of egregious to me, especially given the time of the game that these things tend to be happening.
No, it's the
They're
worst when
usually
it's in like the
they're
last 2 minutes of the game. Fuck.
yeah, that's what I mean. Like if it's happened, that's the worst time for it to happen. But I think we got that pretty much covered. But about Tarik Skubal going to the Dodgers, some folks think that this might be ruining baseball, him going to the Dodgers, and it just makes everything in baseball worse. I tend to not think that way. I think it's the owners that don't go for it all the time and don't use their assets to go for it. But Jeff, I know, has a big take on it, so I wanted him to get going with that Tarik Skubal take.
Not really a big take, just more of I'm just taking the attitude of basically the other 29 owners in baseball, that they don't really care and never even made an attempt at Skubal. So here we go. I give up. MLB. You win. Let's go Dodgers. Let's do it. We got Skubal, got everyone. Polymarket has him at almost 50% chance to win the World Series. Has that number ever even happened ever? Like 50% chance? That's
That's a
insane.
bad fucking number. I'll tell you that. I wouldn't bet that one.
Oh
It
no.
is bad for sure. I think that aspect of it, sure. I think if you're looking at it from that poly market kind of aspect, yeah, I think it's bad for baseball in that sense. I just can't fault the Dodgers for going for it. I mean, you're supposed to. Are
No, it's
they,
not their fault.
that's what they're supposed to do. So I just think that when you're looking at all trade deals, really, the teams that don't really go for it every year are the teams that are trading their assets, or the teams that won't sign their guys long term are trying to regain or rebuild their farm systems. And I think that they end up, those guys come up and then those guys are superstars and then those guys leave. So it's just a cycle. And that's the problem with baseball inevitably, is like fans, like I think all three of us would call ourselves diehard fans. And I think the problem is that we are diehard fans and now we're kind of feeling indifferent about baseball. And that I don't think is a good thing
Yeah,
for the
because
sport.
nobody else could have made that offer for Skubal. Like they couldn't, the Tigers couldn't wait like a day or two to see
There was
who
2
else. Be
days
like,
left.
yeah, like what? They're like, we got these 3 bags of chips that came in for an offer, and go tell Milwaukee, go tell Philly, go tell New York, go tell someone what the offer is, and be like, you got something a little better. Maybe you got
You
Yeah.
know how to
name brand
fucking make a
Doritos.
sale.
Yeah, it's
What'd you say, Steve? I didn't catch you.
Do you know how to make a sale?
yeah,
Oh, yeah, right. Yeah, it's true. It is, and I think it's crazy to do it on with a couple of days left when you do have that negotiating window to be like, this is what I was offered. Hey, what do you guys think? This is what kind of, but like what, like that could jump into a whole conspiracy theory of if baseball is actually trying, the owners are trying to get a salary cap in next season. Like, is this
yeah.
the way they're trying to implement it? Is by basically are they handing the Dodgers, is MLB handing the Dodgers a championship this season to try and get everybody up in arms and get the fans on their side? And that's the thing of it too, is like these billionaire owners are always in control of the narrative. And that's what they're trying to do, in my opinion, control the narrative of how we fans look at the sport.
This
Um,
shit pisses me off because you have a
yeah,
record of assets. You have a record of assets. You know what you're getting from one team. And then you're like, oh, Saturday, like, okay, I'll just take that. What?
oh yeah,
Who in the fuck would do that? Like, you have 2 more days to go to every other team that's competitive and say, this is what we have. Can
Yep.
you do better?
yeah, I totally agree. It's kind of crazy that they just kind of, it's maybe seemingly, I'm sure they didn't take the first offer But it does seem like that might have been the first offer. But I'm not in the room. So I don't
that's
want
like
to
the
assume
fucking
that.
Luka trade. It's like the Luka trade. Like, what happened there? Like,
Oh,
oh,
yeah.
Luka,
Jesus.
Yeah.
come on.
Another,
Like, just
yeah, it's kind
shop
of
it
wild.
around. Get a better fucking deal. Like, are you serious? Like, this,
Yeah.
this shit's so annoying.
I don't, I want, maybe we could step off of it a little bit just so Steve isn't so annoyed.
It's for another
I
day.
think it kind of leads into contract negotiations. We could talk about that sort of stuff. Because this week Baker Mayfield said he is a franchise quarterback. The Bucks view him as a franchise quarterback, and it was rumored that they offered him a 2-year, $100 million deal. I think it was like a two years, $50 million each year,
Yeah.
something like that. And he felt disrespected. And he won't negotiate anymore. He's going to play out the season and become a free agent. He said, you're going to see me ball. They view him as a franchise quarterback, as I previously just said. So what do you guys think? Do quarterbacks break kind of a rule, unwritten rule, maybe coming out and talking about the front office like that, saying, hey, you guys said this about me. I think this about me, and you lowballed me. And two, I think maybe do quarterback contracts maybe take up too much of a team's payroll where they have an inability to build a team around them. Just a couple of things to kind of talk about if you guys have anything to add to those.
I mean, as for talking to the press about your situation, like Baker airing out his laundry, I don't have an issue with that. Like, they're supposed to talk to the press. It's actually in their contracts that they have to. I don't feel like there's anything wrong with talking about feeling disrespected by ownership, because ownership's not going to hold their tongue when it comes to talking about the players themselves. Like, so it's totally fine. I think demanding an extension is I think it's a little much for him, just because he's a great quarterback. He's in, as it comes to like the main stats, pass yards, touchdowns, stuff like that, he's in the top 5. Like, he's in the conversation with Goff, Prescott, Allen, and Mahomes when it comes to that. Even like his touchdowns, I think, are 3rd in the NFL since he came in the league among those guys. And that's great. Like, that's awesome stats. Like, he's living up to the contract that they gave him. But he hasn't won anything. Like, you can't just demand an extension because you played well to the contract you were just given. Like, when you win a Super Bowl, then you can say, hey, look, I took your team above and beyond this contract you gave me. Let's talk about getting a little bit more. But right now, dude, play your contract and earn your money at the end, which honestly I think he will, because a pissed off Baker Mayfield is not a Baker Mayfield that anyone wants to see. I think he's a great quarterback.
Win an MVP.
Yeah, true. Yes, yeah, I agree. Win an MVP.
Okay, so yeah, win an MVP in a league with Patrick Mahomes, and that's easy. I don't want to say easy to say, but yeah, he was in the discussion earlier in this season, I believe, this previous in 2025. His play had him in the discussion for MVP, but then he did kind of falter at the end, in leading the Bucks to even the playoffs. I don't even remember if they made the playoffs, to be honest. Being a Jets fan, it's difficult. Yeah, I mean, I'm a Jets fan. Okay, good for them.
The Panthers at 8-9 won the division.
Yeah.
So, wow. Yeah. Okay. See, as a Jets fan, you kind of like disassociate with football near the end of the season, mainly since in September, actually, not even at the end of the season. It kind of happens in September, unfortunately, for the last 15 years. So I kind of miss out on all that fun stuff with football in the playoffs. But besides the point, what about contract numbers? Like, if he's looking for a big contract, would that hamper him? And do big contracts hamper other teams when building out the roster in order to make a championship roster?
I'll jump in on that one. Your top 5, 6, 7 quarterbacks make between 20 and 25% of your roster. That's a lot. I think that's something that they probably need to revisit, because the NFL has done that before. Remember back in the day, it was like, I think Stafford and like the first round quarterbacks at the number 1 picks were just given like this major contract, and they had to revisit it because it was like, you haven't proven anything. And so they redid the way that was set up. Right now, a top quarterback when he gets to basically like his second contract is making 20 to 25% of the roster. And that's where teams get hampered. And that's where you see like AJ Brown get tossed out because it's like, well, he's kind of a problem, but like you can't afford all these stars. I mean, the Eagles can, but you can't afford all these stars, and you have to be able to say, you know what, we love this guy. This guy makes a big impact on our team. We can't take him on. It's like the NBA. The 76ers got LeBron for $4 million a year. In what world does that make sense? And football's kind of the same. It's like, agents drive everything, and so everybody's trying to get every last dollar. And I get that. If I was a player, I want every last dollar.
Oh,
But
for
like
sure.
the way that it's set up, there's going to be no more dynasties. There's just not going to be dynasties. You have to be able to be creative in the way that you do your payroll. And the way it's set up right now, it's tough to team build. I would not want to be a GM right now.
I think
unless
it's
you're
creative.
Howie Roseman.
I
Yeah,
was going to
obviously, because
say,
he's
I
fucking
think
cheap.
you did mention creative with the payroll, and that actually, when you said creative with the payroll, I literally, in my brain, I thought Howard Roseman and the Eagles. So Jeff, you're the Eagles guy. How do they do it, man? How do they
Well,
continue to build their team with with the salary cap inhibitors that they seem to just ignore or don't?
it's kind of like we talked about last week. We talked about horrible owners. You talked about the Jets rotten from the top. Well, the Eagles are the complete opposite of that. They have an owner that actually invests in his team and does everything he can to make sure the roster is where the best it can be every year. And part of the way he does that is he puts up the cash up front. Like a lot of these Eagles players that are signing these contracts are getting what they put it in is like a bonus proration. And the downside is that you have to put up all that cash up front. But what you do is you split that bonus over 5 years. So
Mm,
you do have to pay it eventually, but it's over a period of time as opposed to just hitting hitting the cap right on those first couple years. And then what else the Eagles do is they add these like extra, what they call them is phantom years at the end of the contract. So that way they can push that bonus even further down the road and split it up even
Bobby
more.
Bonilla.
Yeah, it's kind of like that, but they're also paying it throughout because they're splitting it up. They're not just pushing it down the road. They're also paying part of it, like just little segments of it each year. They're
huh,
kind of like if you're paying your rent, you have that split thing that you can do the credit where you split it up. You can split your rent over a couple weeks or whatever. That's kind of what they're doing. Um, so it's constantly pushing stuff down the road, and they continue to do that, and it's just constantly this revolving thing where they're pushing the money down the road. But
So the
I mean,
Eagles are Klarma.
they're sorry. They're
The Eagles
just
are Klarma.
yeah, yeah, the Eagles are they're Klarna. Yep. Yeah, that's a great way of putting it. But it's working because you're talking about no dynasties anymore. And I'm not saying the Eagles are a dynasty, but for my entire adult life, the Eagles have been competitive.
yep,
They're every single year they're talked about in the top 10 teams of the year. There's just a
yep,
handful of years since the year 2000 where the Eagles have been just out of it right from the beginning. We've had down years where they start good and fall apart, but they're always in it. And
yeah.
that's why they have an owner that just invests in the team over and over and over again and doesn't care. And it shows.
I'm
Wow.
sure Adam is jealous.
I mean, it's how can I not be? Like legitimately, how can ever like sitting here listening to what the Eagles do, information I never thought about before or heard of is pushing those bonuses and willing to pay the players. It makes you think like these things can happen obviously in other organizations, and the Jets have an opportunity to follow a mold like that and just don't. Like other teams have this opportunity to learn from other organizations because that's what you're supposed to do anyway. You're supposed to learn and grow, and that's how the league grows. That's how players get better. That's everything. That's a whole important thing. And for 15 damn years, you sit here and you watch the Jets just put out this crap football over and over and over and over and over again, while the Eagles sit there and, like Jeff said, for the last his whole adult life, have been the Eagles, where you're looking at them every single year, and you're like, okay, this team is competitive. They could put a team on the field every year, and to be a Jets fan and like I said last week, just have years of futility and just maybe this could be the year. That might be. It's just frustrating to be a Jets fan.
Well,
It's sad.
well, Jeff, I'm sure over the last, I don't know, let's go back to like 2000. So over the last 25, 26 years, I bet Jeff has watched pretty much every Eagles game every Sunday.
Yeah.
I watched every Bills game every Sunday during that time period too, even though it was 17 years of just like, what the fuck are we doing? This is garbage. Like JP lose, man. Like it's just so bad. But Adam has been like stomped out. Like I just can't watch it anymore. And so like
Oh,
that's
yeah.
so bad that like this is the best product on the fucking world. And
Yeah.
your fans are just like, nope, no thanks.
Yeah, all of us. I mean, I can't speak for all of us because there are Jets fans that are every year they get pumped up and they get excited. And I'll admit when Aaron Rodgers, the first year Aaron Rodgers, how can you not be excited? Regardless that it's Aaron Rodgers. I understand the
That
baggage that comes with that.
that
But
flag for 4 seconds.
but how could you not have been excited as a Jets fan with that season? You're like, wow, we're still Aaron Rodgers could still chuck it. We have enough weapons. We seem okay, and then 4 plays in, it all goes kaput. And that really is just that is
MetLife
symbolism.
Stadium.
And that is yep, and that's symbolism of being a Jets fan. That is the literal exact perfect
Absolutely.
symbol of being a Jets fan. Is like
That's so
everything
depressing.
falls apart. But I brought up Aaron Rodgers. He's a Hall of Famer. Baseball just had their Hall of Fame last weekend. They inducted, let's see, Carlos Beltran, who went in as a Met, very awesome. Andrew Jones,
About
and
time.
yeah, and also Jeff Kent. So that always, I think Hall of Fame always makes me think of guys that aren't in. And I think that Jeff Kent was maybe a little controversial. Andrew Jones, who was like the best center fielder for 10 years, some people had ideas that he was a little controversial. But my opinion, if you're the best at a position for that long a period of a time, a decade, that constitutes you of being one of the best. If you're controlling that position and you're winning Gold Gloves and you're the top of that spot, then yes, you are a Hall of Famer. Are there Hall of Famers that we're hoping to get in next year? Some guys that are always mentioned, brought up, like Keith Hernandez is one. I'm hoping he gets in. Any other guys you guys can think of at the top of your head that deserve Hall of Fame status in any sport, not just baseball, but that are missing from Hall of Fames?
Just throw out a name.
We'll go Jimmy Rollins.
No.
Yeah. No.
Steve the
Flat
Hater.
out. Do you
why not?
Just real quick? Yeah, why not? I was going to ask why not. Like, what about him?
Aside from being a Philly.
Yeah.
And a Dodger.
Well, I could be wrong here because I've never looked at his stats. I'm a big stats data guy. You throw the name out there. I didn't immediately think Jimmy Rollins Hall of Fame. Like Hall of pretty good, sure. Like I'd have to go, and I could, like I said, I could be totally wrong. I didn't think like Jimmy Rollins, like yeah, absolutely. Like the Hall of Fame for me should be like you don't have to fucking think about it. Like it's just yes or no. And so for that one, for me, along with Chase Utley, is no.
Right.
Well, we all know why you say no to Chase Utley.
I vote no for Chase Utley too, and
Of course.
I was at that
would.
game, but I was at that game. I think Steve was at that game too. We were
at
that
game together.
So yeah,
I don't know.
We were
Steve,
at that game.
Steve just told Baker Mayfield to win an MVP, and Jimmy Rollins did win one. So
did he win an MVP?
Yeah, he won an MVP.
In 07, man.
Yeah.
Won an MVP because he came out in 07 and said, we're the team to beat after the Mets had basically dominated in 06. And then we all know what happened when there were 17 games left in that season.
Oh,
and
so basically he's better than Bryce Harper.
He won an MVP too. Bryce Harper won 2 MVPs.
I just think it's hilarious that you just, I mean, I don't disagree with like for you, you're like, yes, no, it's like an immediate answer. It's the Hall of Fame. It's Hall of Pretty Good or Hall of Fame for you.
Yeah.
And I get that. I totally understand. But what do you think about like Keith Hernandez or Don Mattingly, Steve? Just real quick. Out of curiosity.
Keith Hernandez, absolutely. Keith Hernandez, like, I don't know all the stats, but I mean 11 gold gloves. He batted over 300. He was a captain of 2 World Series MVP. 2 World Series championships. Like, I don't understand why he's not. Well, I know why he's not because of the cocaine thing, but I don't understand why he's not in the Hall of Fame. And it's like, why are they punishing him? Like, he should be in the Hall of Fame. Don Mattingly, I don't know enough about his stats if I know that he should be in the Hall of Fame. I feel bad for him because, like, he retired the year before the Yankees won like a 5-year run. So that kind of sucks. But Don Mattingly, maybe. I mean, there's so many bad players in the Hall of Fame. You could put in Keith Hernandez. You could put in Don Mattingly. And you should put in fucking Pete Rose.
He's
Maybe
in.
Pete Rose.
Doesn't he? Oh, no, he's just not banned from baseball anymore. That's what it was.
I mean, he's dead, so he can't be banned from anything
Yes.
anymore. So, I mean, it is what it is. As far as Don Mattingly goes, just real quick, he was the captain, same thing. Yes, he never won anything. He was captain of the Yankees. The guy was also one of the best first basemen for a decade straight in baseball. And he did have to retire because of spinal stenosis. Is
Sounds
the
familiar.
back issue. So yeah, it's the same thing. David Wright, him and David Wright suffered the same kind of fate when it came to their careers, unfortunately. But Mattingly was just as great as Hernandez without the championships, honestly. But Jeff, yeah, you have some other people you wanted to throw out there.
Yeah, I mean, going over to another sport, I'll just throw out a couple football names. We'll throw out like Reggie Wayne, like Devin Hester's a good one because can you get in if you're just a specialty guy? Like he basically just returned kicks, but he was also the greatest to ever return kicks, arguably. And then a big one is Eli Manning. Figure we can't talk about possible Hall of Fame candidates without talking about Eli Manning too. So of those three, what do you guys think?
Well, Devin Hester got in, right?
Did he get in? I'm
pretty sure he got in.
Okay. All right. That's my bad.
Oh, so I'm not going to edit it out. You make mistakes. We all make mistakes. It's okay.
So kind of
I would say Eli Manning does not deserve to be in the Hall of Fame, but I know that he's going to go in the Hall of Fame. It's based off of name. It's based off of aggregating statistics. Like people who make the LeBron argument, like, I mean, he's been in the league 24 years. Of course, he's at the top of all the lists. And Eli Manning was an Iron Man, and he was at the top of a lot of lists. And he just aggregated statistics. I will say, I don't care about Eli Manning, but he did beat Tom Brady in the Super Bowl 2 times, which is fucking absolutely amazing. And you should be in the Super Bowl just for that, to keep this guy away from fucking 10 Super Bowls. So, like, I love that. I love Eli Manning for that, but I don't think he's a Hall of Famer. I like he missed the playoffs like every other year. Like I just don't think he was all that good. But he just had the name. So
he's a 500 record quarterback.
That's what I was going to add.
I know it's a team sport and that's always the thing. Like it takes the rest of the team, but also like quarterbacks are always held to the record of the team. Like you can't have it both ways. You can't say this quarterback always wins these games and has this record, but Eli Manning you ignore his record because he won the Super Bowl twice. So yeah, I agree he's not a Hall of Famer, but he will get in. And that's just it. He'll get in because he's Peyton Manning's brother and he won 2 Super Bowls against Tom Brady. And that's it.
I disagree. I think he'll get in based on his merit in the playoffs. He's won 2 Super Bowl MVPs. His
2
playoff
Octobers.
stats. That's fine. That's when Hall of Fame careers are made, is championships. And we keep talking about Hall of Fame. What constitutes making a Hall of Fame? In every sport, it seems to be you need to have a championship. And you know what? He's got 2 Super Bowl MVPs. He's got 2 championships. He in the hardest market possibly maybe to play in, New York, with a lot of heat on you all the time. And to play the way he played in a position he played, I'm not saying I don't think he ever really got crushed standing back there, but I think that he is a Hall of Famer. I understand the regular season.
He took some beatings.
I know he did, but exactly to keep going and
I'll give him that.
He did, and I just think he is a Hall of Famer, not because on his own merit, on his own merit. 2 Super Bowl MVPs speak for themselves. I don't think you get into the Hall of Fame on your brother's shoulders when
He
you
had
have your
2
own MVPs.
Januaries in like 18
Yeah.
years.
I'll give him like the second Super Bowl, I'll give him more credit for. The first one, like the luckiest catch in the history of Super Bowls where it sticks to his head. Give me a break. Eli just chucked it up in the air.
He
David
had his
Tyree
eyes
out there
closed.
somewhere. Yes.
His eyes were closed.
Come on. I could have made that throw.
No, you couldn't have.
No,
You couldn't
no,
have.
no. That's
No,
hyperbolic.
and you couldn't hit a 100 mile an hour fastball either.
No, I couldn't.
Or probably hit a free throw with 0.3 seconds left to win the game because of the pressure. I don't think any of us could sit here and say we could do that.
Not at
But
all.
I want to open this up because I think it's a fun debate. What do you guys think in the comments? Let us know. TikTok, Instagram, whatever. Just let us know. Join the debate. But that'll lead us to our Getting Back Up series, our signature series of the podcast. And I'm going to start with Steve today, and then we'll go to Jeff. So, Steve, who do you have for us for our Getting Back Up?
So no shocker here. I'm going back to boxing.
Excellent.
I want to go with a boxer named Errol Spence Jr. Errol Spence Jr., who might not be familiar to everybody, was a 147-pound unified champion for quite a long time. I think people probably know him either for his come up or for his loss to Terrence Bud Crawford. He fought Terrence Bud Crawford, who beat Canelo at like 175 pounds. Like Terrence Bud Crawford's a fucking psycho. Like he is probably the best boxer of the last 10 years. Better than Canelo. He beat Canelo. So he fought Terrence Bud Crawford in 2023. I was there. I watched it. He got his fucking ass whooped. I would say that maybe training probably wasn't the best, but Terrence Bud Crawford is a fucking psycho. Like he is just dialed in. Like I will kill you. Like like just like what you need to be the best boxer ever. Errol Spence, who's a 2012 Olympian, 3-time unified welterweight champion. He is of a different breed. He would go to where you went or where you lived to go beat you. He won his first title in the UK, beating Kell Brook. Most people don't go to other people's areas, regions to go fight them because boxing is fucked up and like boxing, like you have local judges. And so like, yeah, good luck. Like you better knock them out because the judges are not going to be on your side. So he went and beat Kell Brook for his first title. He beat Sean Porter. Sean Porter is a dog. He beat Danny Garcia from Philadelphia, who was like, Philadelphia fighters are different. Like they're really, 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 really good. And so in 2019, he had a horrific car accident. Of his own will, he flipped his Ferrari. I watched the video a couple times today. I don't know how many times it flipped. I can't even keep up. Like he flipped his Ferrari like a million times. Like it was a complete fucking disaster in 2019. He did come back. He did win another world title. Then he had another fight. He had a detached retina, which, good Lord, like I can't even imagine what that's like. But then in 2023, that was his moment, and he fought Terrence Crawford. Terrence Crawford beat the shit out of him. And so he took 3 years off, and then he had a fight this past weekend. He's somebody who's never taken, it's almost like never taken a week off. Like in boxing, you always take these fights where like you're gonna win. It's just like a tune-up fight. He just does not take tune-up fights. He always fights better, 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 better. And so he fought Tin Tszyu this past weekend. He lost. He got his last fight, and he retired in the ring. He made the announcement, but he got back up. He got back up from 3 years of not being able to get himself back up. 401k fight, as I called it. He had no chance, in my opinion, but he got back up. He had a great career. I really respect this dude, but he he did some fucked up shit outside the ring that probably cost him. He is just doing all this shit outside the ring that didn't make sense, and it cost him. It cost him because he's only like 33, 34 years old. He should be able to continue to fight, but flipping a car, watching people get murdered, like all this shit, like he was able to get back up to do that last fight, but it's like kind of sold himself a little short, which is a little disappointing.
Well, to be honest, that's a tough one because a lot of it's self-inflicted. A lot from as you were saying, a lot of his story is self-inflicted wounds. So hopefully he continues to get back up, and as he is retired now, as you said, hopefully he can find something to give him something to kind of straighten his life out and keep his life going in the right direction, so he doesn't continue down a bad path and just putting himself in bad situations to keep himself to continue to grow. I hope that happens for him. That being said, Jeff, you want to jump in here?
I chose a girl named Bethany Hamilton. She's a surfer. She grew up in a surfing family in Kauai, Hawaii. And at the age of 9, she had, or at the age of 8, she had started competing, and she had landed her first sponsorship at 9. And by 13 years old, she was already finishing the tops of national championships, the National Scholastic Surfing Association. She finished second at the age of 13 in that division, which is it's the premier circuit in the United States for up and coming surfers, for amateur surfers. Kelly Slater, I think everyone's heard of Kelly Slater, came up through that same circuit. So just a very young age, she was the top of her game in that surfing. And then in October, on Halloween actually, of 2003, she was attacked by a 14-foot tiger shark and lost her arm.
Jesus.
Yeah. I would never get back in the ocean after, like, if I took a toe, I wouldn't get back in the ocean. Like an
No,
arm,
absolutely
I
not.
probably won't even get on the beach again. But at the age of 13, she got her arm removed or taken from her, and just 26 days later, on November 26th, she gets back in the ocean and starts surfing again. And then January of 2004, which is just 2 months after that, she re-enters the competition and finished 5th in an open women's division. And this is at 13 years old. Like, could you imagine that? And then it keeps just getting better from there. From 2004, she wins the SB Award for Best Comeback Athlete. She publishes an autobiography. It's titled, I have it written here, Soul Surfer, A True Story of Faith, Family, and Fighting to Get Back on the Board. So she's still only 14 at this time and lost her arm, and she's already gotten back up and back into her sport. And then in 2005, she wins the Explore Women's Division at the NSSA National Championships. It's her first national title, and then turns professional in 2007 and joins the Pro Surfing Tour. It's an insane story. Like I said, I would never, ever, ever get back in the ocean if I even was grazed by a shark. If I saw a shark swim by me, I'm like, all right, that's it. Ocean's not for me. Like, I was not going to do it. Yeah, not going to do it. You don't. Ocean always wins.
Jaws as a kid. I watched Jaws as a kid. I'm not doing
it. Yeah, exactly. It's terrifying. So yeah, so I just figured Bethany Hamilton was a good person to highlight in this segment. Sure. Just a scary story, but ultimately ended up being a great story for her. And now she's just living the best life. She has a couple kids, and everything's great.
That's remarkable because, as you stated, you wouldn't get back in the ocean. There's no chance I'm getting back in the ocean. If I'm attacked by a shark, absolutely no chance. I'm not getting on a boat. I'd have trouble flying over an ocean, to be honest with you.
Ocean always wins.
Be in a plane crash, and then you have to get on a plane again. Like, fucking no way, I'll drive.
Yeah. Nope.
First of all, if you survive a plane crash, congratulations. I would never get on a plane ever again if I survived a plane crash. I think that's only meant for like Fantasyland TV. But anyways, that's crazy. What a great story, though. Honestly, that's a great story to bring. And yeah, I wouldn't get back in the ocean. And kudos to her to continue to fight for her dreams, despite what happened to her. You know, that's amazing to me. And great job for pulling that story out, because I remember it vaguely. So I like hearing stuff like that I kind of remember, but and then bringing it back is always great to me to hear those kinds of stories. So today I wanted to talk about a kid who, like the rest of us, who played Little League baseball growing up, had aspirations to play in the majors. Cody Hahn was a little bit different. Playing youth baseball in Orange County, Cody racked up awards, including Los Angeles Times Player of the Year in 2010. And of course, awards like that will garner you some interest from scouts at college and in baseball. And he was drafted originally by the Padres, and he decided, I don't want to go professional at that point. So he decided to go to Arizona State University. And at Arizona State University, in his third game, in the first inning of the third game he was playing, he slid headfirst into second base and directly into the knee of the player covering, and fractured his fifth vertebrae, leaving him paralyzed from the chest down. He did go for emergency surgery, but he never put a mitt back on again. What's great about his story, he didn't let it hold him back from anything. He continued his studies at Arizona State University, where he graduated from the business school. He caught the attention of Kevin Towers, the GM of the Arizona Diamondbacks. And when he graduated, he was drafted ceremoniously by the Arizona Diamondbacks in the 34th round. The 34th round because he wore number 34 in college. And he is now a scout, and a very good position with the Arizona Diamondbacks as a scout. He's one of the heads of their scouting department. He's up there at the top of the scouting department, and he also runs a charity for people that have suffered spinal cord injuries called Project 34. He runs that with I don't know if he's in the majors right now, but he's definitely a former major leaguer. If he's not in the majors, Mr. Trevor Williams, who was a former teammate of his. And what's cool about Cody is he still gets to live his dream just a little bit differently. He loved the game of baseball, wanted to be a Major League Baseball player. He was throwing a curveball and knocked it out of the park. Gets to work in a front office, work in the scouting department, and still work in the game he loved growing up. So that's a win for Cody, and a win for baseball, really, in my opinion. So
Yeah,
that
that's
will
cool.
wrap us up with the getting back
That's a
up.
cool
I love
story.
that guy. That being said, go
Yeah,
ahead. What's
imagine
up?
when they go through that. That's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, imagine it's like sliding head first, just a typical in-game kind of thing, and just a freak accident. And he ends up, totally changing his trajectory in the game of baseball. Uh, and who knows, maybe he wouldn't have made it as a major league player, but now he's in a front office and living a dream quite differently than he imagined as a kid. But good for Cody, and just a really cool story. That being said, don't forget to like and subscribe. Join in on the conversation on all of our socials. And thanks for tuning in. You guys have a great one. Take care.